The barber regulators suggest we use an EPA-registered disinfectant. Well, there is no EPA-registered disinfectant suitable for the job. Every label on every EPA-registered disinfectant says it is a violation of federal law to use this product in a manner inconsistent with its labeling. Now, I don't know what law that is. I'm going to follow their directions. And most products are also labeled, this product is not to be used as a terminal sterilant / high-level disinfectant on any instrument that is introduced directly into the human body, either into or in contact with the bloodstream or normally sterile areas of the body. If a razor blade nicks your skin, this is exactly what is going to happen to you. Texas regulators have known since 1965 that the usual barbershop disinfectants don't work against hepatitis on barber razors. I'll put some medical references on my website so that you can read up on the grisly details. But this situation is truly appalling. Rules absolutely must be changed to require that razor blades must be discarded after one use and then discarded into a sharps container. And when the sharps container is full, it must be disposed of according to Texas state law. It would also help if anyone who employs a barber would comply with the OSHA rules for barber shop safety, such as providing PPE, personal protective equipment, for every employee, which would include employer-paid shots for hepatitis B, and disposable gloves and sharps containers. It's been a federal law since 1992. Here's a comment for barbers. Any barber who was employed to do shaves, who is not provided personal protective equipment, and who contracted a blood-borne disease since 1992 could have grounds for a civil lawsuit against that employer. There are about 13,000 barbers licensed to do shaves here in Texas, and another 130,000 licensed cosmetologists, none of whom are licensed to do razor shaves, but some of them do razor shaves anyway. But from the thousands of barbers and cosmetologists who do shaves with blood-contaminated razor blades every year, probably several hundred people get hepatitis. And the victims are unlikely to know where they got that hepatitis from because it takes several weeks or months before the hepatitis symptoms start to appear. I'd like to comment on the unhappy state of neck duster brushes. They need to be disinfected after every customer. It's not just the law, it's a good idea. Disinfecting a brush, it's not a difficult thing to do. And here's a quick overview of how we do it at KingBarber.
1. Take a clean brush out of the sanitized box to use on the customer. 2. After the haircut, set the brush aside. 3. At the end of the day, the brushes are collected as needed and cleaned. 4. Soak the brushes overnight in bleach water. 1,000 parts per million of bleach, or 6 ounces of Clorox bleach in a 2-gallon container. As mentioned, plastic brushes with smooth, non-porous bristles are used because EPA-registered disinfectants are not designed for anything else. 5. The next day, the brushes are rinsed clean. 6. The brushes are set into a rack to dry. 7. When the brushes are dry, they are returned to the sanitized box and are ready for use.
Every EPA-registered disinfectant says use only on non-porous surfaces. Animal hair bristles are very porous, so we have to use brushes with non-porous nylon bristles. You can get a clear understanding of the difference between porous brush bristles and non-porous brush bristles from anyone who sells paint and brushes at a hardware store. Whenever you let someone use a dirty neck duster brush on you, consider this. They have rubbed that brush on hundreds, maybe thousands of faces. Some of them had colds, swine flu, ringworm, fevers, scurvy, who knows what. And they're going to rub this brush after all them on your face. No, you can't be first, but you can be
next.
I raised this issue with the barber regulators in 2008. Their response can be found on the barber section of the TDLR webpage.
The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation drafted and distributed the proposed rule to persons internal and external to the agency. The proposed amendment was published in the Texas Register on April 18, 2008. The comment period closed on May 19, 2008. One public comment was received in response to the proposed rule. The comment suggests replacing the proposed language of one neck duster with 3 reusable neck dusters made of plastic. The commenter believed the language will better facilitate cleaning and disinfecting of the neck dusters. Specifying that a neck duster must be made of plastic would allow the duster to be soaked in a disinfectant solution, and requiring 3 neck dusters would allow the student to use one duster while others are drying. The department disagrees with the comment and believes that the current requirement of one neck duster is a sufficient requirement for a student kit. A neck duster, even if not made of plastic, could be sprayed with disinfectant between clients and generally could be immersed in a disinfectant solution for the minimum time necessary for disinfection. While it might be advisable for students to have more than one neck duster, the department does not believe that the volume of customers typically seen by students would necessitate a requirement for 3 neck dusters.
There are 2 major problems with their response to my comment. First, in the 50 years of my getting and giving haircuts, I have never, ever seen anyone disinfect their neck duster brush in this way. I doubt very seriously that anyone ever has. And it would be stupid to do this because wet brushes can take 12 hours or more to dry. And secondly, as I have mentioned, all EPA registered disinfectants are designed and labeled for use on non-porous surfaces and may not be used on animal hair brushes. Texas regulators should know this by now. They have been, after all, regulating Texas barbers and hairdressers since 1929. If they haven't figured out things by now, when will they? Well, maybe it is now time to let the state of Texas Department of Health Services, which is full of people with expertise on health issues, regulate barbers and hairdressers instead of the TDLR, which is full of experts on regulating elevators, fight promoters, and tow truck companies. Now, I don't mean to make you think that you are going to contract some horrific disease every time you go to your local barber or hairstylist, but I do think that you should be aware that not every establishment is sanitary and that you cannot count on the current regulations to protect your health and safety. There are other safety and sanitation issues that need to be covered, but there's way too much for this video. I'll post some additional references and other comments and other issues on my website, which is www.kingbarber.com. Thank you very much.